Hey, it's Angel Tuccy from Media Firestorm, and we have another incredible case study interview for you today with Dan Sneider. Dan, how are you doing?
I'm doing really well today, Angel. Thanks.
You're doing really well today. I love it. Dan, give us a little bit of background, who you are, where you're from, and how you serve your clients.
Yeah, so I live in Asheville, North Carolina. I've got two cats in the house that are put away right now, so they're not going to join us for this meeting. And I know. And two kids who are at school right now. And yeah, I work from home. I'm a couples and individual therapist, and so I'm licensed in a few different states. So I get to talk to people from different parts of the country and go deep with them about their relationships and help them to shift their intimacy from conflict to connection. And I love doing that. And I've been partnering with Media Firestorm for about 2 months now and going on lots of podcasts, working on my email marketing, and learning a lot of skills about growing my business that I didn't have before.
I love it. Dan, what states are you licensed to work in?
Yeah, North Carolina, Florida, Colorado, and Illinois. So that's working backwards from where I've moved. I started in Illinois and ended up here in North Carolina. So anybody in those four states is able to work with me directly as a therapist. And then in a new program that I'm offering and have been partnering with Media Firestorm to promote, it's an educational program that's available to anybody. They don't have to be in one of those places.
Oh, well, that's nice. Like we're expanding. It's like I've lived in two of those states. And my husband lived in Illinois. We have three out of them, three out of your four that we've lived in as well. Okay, so Dan, let's think about, I know you've been in Media Firestorm enrolled a couple of months ago, but prior to this, what were you doing with your business? How were you growing your business? Where were you finding your clients before you met us?
Hmm. So, like I said, it's an all online business. So, as I've moved different states, I've been able to work with people just in those places and primarily getting clients referred to me through their insurance benefits. So, insurance-based clients, which is good news, bad news. It's a very steady referral source. There's no shortage of people that are looking for a good therapist and want to use their insurance benefits for it. The downsides are that you have to deal with insurance companies and you can't really negotiate your rates. So, no matter how good a therapist I am or how much value I provide, the insurance company has really a set limit for how they reimburse.
Sure.
So that's limiting, and then also the types of clients that you work with. Sometimes the motivation for how hard they want to work in sessions is different because it's kind of an endless benefit through their insurance company, rather than they are choosing to work with me and they want to set aside time, commitment, and money to pay for really expert help. So yeah, so I was getting clients primarily through their insurance benefits.
Yeah, right. But I mean, it sounds good, right? Somebody else is bringing you clients, but there is another side to it as well. Dan, what was your motivation to find another, to reach out to Media Firestorm and to enroll in Media Firestorm? Was it simply the fact that you couldn't charge any different, or was there something else?
Yeah, well, I will say that actually Media Firestorm reached out to me. So they found me somehow. So I got an email which came at the right time because for a few years I had been trying different ways to grow my business, not my skill set, not what I learned in school, and not my favorite thing to do to work on my business, probably because I didn't have help. I didn't really ask for help or know how to do it. And so had tried different things. Had tried paying for Google Ads, had tried posting on Instagram and building a presence there. Saw limited success with those things. And in the last year, I wrote an ebook which I wanted to sell because I thought was really good and got great feedback from my clients, but wasn't really getting people visiting my site or finding it the way that I wanted them to. So yeah, I got this email from Media Firestorm about being interviewed on podcasts, which to me sounded great because if I have an hour to talk about what I do and really connect with listeners, that's so much better than trying to, in 3 sentences in a Google ad, or try to creatively make a infographic in Canva, which doesn't come naturally to me. That sounded like a great way for me to talk to the people that I want to work with. So that was the initial hook. And then I got on a sales call. I still wasn't sure, and got on a call with Jamie, who's one of your partners and has tons of energy and really good ideas, and kind of helped me to learn more about Media Firestorm. And so, yeah, I saw the benefit of not just getting on podcasts, but also partnering with professionals that could help me with my email marketing and building better systems to bring in more people.
I'll tell you, I love the idea of podcasting as well for the same reason as you, Dan, right? You really get to share the thing you're most passionate about, and you get to connect with an audience on a much deeper level than any other platform will allow you. Well, in the couple of months, what would you say is the tool, strategy, or technique that you have found to be the most valuable out of Media Firestorm?
Yeah, so I fully believe that I'm going to get lots of people that want to work with me through the podcasts. That hasn't happened yet because only a couple of the podcast interviews that I've done have actually like gone live and are out there. So I believe that that's going to happen. But so far in these couple of months, the biggest thing that has changed for me is that I am sending more frequent emails. I'm sending better emails to my list. I'm getting more people replying to those emails, telling me that they're reading them. And so just greater engagement that way. And so that's been a big tangible thing where I'm seeing more people visiting my site and engaging with me from my email marketing.
I know we took a look at your leads the other day, and it's nice to have the record to keep track of that. And then I know like we are still waiting for some of those podcast interviews. How many interviews have you done? I know only a couple have been released, but how many have you actually recorded so far?
Ooh, that's a great. Well, so let me pull up my
Mhm.
tracking
I've got
spreadsheet.
my
So a
dash.
lot of what Media Firestorm does too is like you've given me systems where I kept telling myself I was gonna work on things and work on my business, but spending the money and having the partners to keep me accountable has made a huge difference. So far, I've applied to be on 73 podcasts. I've been accepted to 30 podcasts, and I've recorded 9.
Okay. All right. So you've only recorded nine. A couple have been released, but you've got 30 that have been accepted. So there's a lot happening in the work. So we'll have to do this again in a couple of months for you, Dan. So right now it's all about creating systems, it's leveraging your email, it's getting booked on podcasts, it's making sure your messaging is landing. What's been your biggest breakthrough or takeaway? Is it having the systems or is there something else?
Well, the systems are really helpful. I'd say the biggest change for me has really been the mindset of um, what I do is really valuable, and I believe that I'm really good at it, not just because I believe that I'm really good at it, but I get great feedback. People want to work with me. I get referrals and people stay with me for a long time. And I know that I'm making a huge difference in people's lives. And so the mindset shift for me has been, how do I grow that to help more people? And how do I put a price tag on the value for what I'm providing, which is weird for me a little bit as a therapist because I want to help people and putting a value on that's a little tricky. But at the same time, like I want to help people in the best way possible. And there is a tool for how to connect money with value. And so Media Firestorms helped me to put that together differently.
You definitely are. You're making a huge impact and protecting the family dynamics and the marriage relationships. I mean, there's a ripple effect, with the families, and families affect communities and communities, right? I mean, it is. And so it starts I think so often we think a man and a wife, it's just us. I'm like, oh no, right? There's something even greater. So Dan, tell us a little bit about who you work with, how you work with them, and if anybody was listening to you and knows a couple that needs to have that greater connection, how would they connect with you?
Yeah, so my website is theintimacyshift.com or intimacyshift.com. I grabbed both domains just in case. And there you can drop your email and right away get a proven tool that I developed to help you in your relationship have more fun, healthy, and connected conversations with your partner. Primarily, the people that I work with are people that are in relationships and that are struggling with either their emotional intimacy or their physical intimacy, and usually both. And I call the program that I developed the intimacy shift because there are, in the course of a relationship, a lot of times that things shift and change. It could be you're a young parent and wow, our relationship is different now that we have kids. It could be that we're getting older and our bodies have changed and we're noticing differences in our desire and our connection at that point in life. But primarily, I'm working with people that are in relationships and want for them to feel more juicy, more loving, and more connected. And so I developed this 12-week program that blends all of the work that I do with couples and with individuals on relationships to help them learn the skills and practices to actually have that kind of relationship because it can get better if we're using tools and skills. They're just not tools and skills that I learned in school or that, any of us really were taught. And so that's what I'm providing.
I love it. What would you tell somebody who is on the fence about joining Media Firestorm, who's unsure about taking that next step? Would you recommend us to others, or do you have a personal story that shares the value you've received so far?
Yeah, I'd recommend if somebody's on the fence that you schedule a call and ask to learn more about and kind of see what all is happening. Because from the emails that I was getting, and even from that first sales call, I didn't really know everything that was happening. I knew about the podcast booking, but I didn't know I was going to get one-on-one coaching. I didn't know I was going to get, group coaching and that not only was it going to be booked on podcasts, but I would get support for my email marketing, building out my website. So I've gotten much more value and support than I initially thought. And that shouldn't be a secret. So if somebody's on the fence, they should ask more questions.
I love it. I love it. Right. And sometimes, right, it comes in and it is a surprise. So often people are just focused on getting booked on podcasts, but there's so many other benefits to it. So thank you for bringing that up. TheIntimacyShift.com is how you can get in touch with Dan. Thank you so much for being a part of Media Firestorm and taking time to just share your experience with us here today and share it with others. If you're interested in learning more about Media Firestorm, you can follow us at needaguest.com. That's needaguest.com. Go and get booked and learn how you can create the number one traffic source for your business by leveraging the power of podcast guesting. I'm Angel Tuccy. This is Dan Sneider. We'll see you next time. Cheers.